According to the 2013 National Demographic and Health Survey, 8% of Filipino women aged 15 to 19 had previously given birth. An additional 2% of women were expecting their first child. According to a study conducted by Women Health Philippines, many teenage girls believe that sex is the only way to show love. For fear of being labeled promiscuous, many Filipino women delay seeking reproductive health care. Because the Philippines is a conservative and religious society, this aversion to sexuality education is unsurprising. According to data from the Philippine Statistics Authority's Civil Registration and Vital Statistics System, there were 180,916 live births among teenagers aged 10 to 19 in the Philippines in 2019. In the 10 to 19 age range, this equates to 495 live births per day. According to the United Nations Population Fund Philippines January 2020 policy brief, only 3% of all live births in the adolescent age range are fathered by men of the same age group. According to the briefer, such pregnancies can be the consequence of coercion and uneven power relations between girls and older men. Furthermore, according to a 2016 study by the United Nations Population Fund Philippines, early childbearing costs teenagers an estimated 33 billion pesos in lifetime wages. Lack of awareness about reproductive health is strongly linked to poverty, particularly when it comes to overpopulation. As a result, the government made strides to push the RH Act into play. So, what is the RH Act? This act intends to assist the general public in making informed reproductive health decisions. It ensures that the government maintains its commitment to preserving women's reproductive rights, providing accessible family planning information, and hiring qualified maternal health experts to work in both urban and rural parts of the Philippines, among other things.
Hi, thank you for having me on this wonderful interview from my cousin Lorenzo Buenofe. I am Dr. Carlos Santino Buenofe Samonte. I am a practicing doctor of medicine here in the Philippines. I graduated from Far Eastern University with a bachelor degree of human biology and at the same time with a Doctor of Medicine. And currently, I am a medical director of a Samonte group of clinics and a senior medical officer at 𝐒𝐞𝐱 Emergency Clinic. Currently, I am the chairman of the ACC Medical Team Incorporated, and also I am a active medical consultant at the Bayanihan eConsult, a program under the Office of the Vice President, Ma'am Lenny Robredo. These are few questions pertaining to this interview regarding sex education. For me, as a medical practitioner, sex education here in our country provides a good knowledge for teens, especially 13 years old and above, as stated in our Reproductive Health Law, the Reproductive Act of 2012, which states that sex education must be included in all curriculum of K-12 program. The implementation, the law is good, but the implementation and the follow-up, that's where the problem is. The law is a very good law protecting all children, protecting all teens for unwanted pregnancy. But as we all know, teenager nowadays are very susceptible for engaging into sexual activities, especially in this time of pandemic, wherein technology holds a power to influence children, to influence teenagers, and to influence the sexual act, especially with the new kinds of internet access of Zoom and Google Meet, and with the lack of proper sexual education. There are two types of problem with the lack of sexual education. Number one is the early pregnancy, which leads to abortion. And number two is a contraction of a sexually transmitted disease like syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, and the likes. So to prevent this type of problem, the Department of Health, through the reproductive bill and now a reproductive health law, provides condoms for male and female, provide pills, oral or injectable, readily available in health centers, and if it's a private institution, readily available in all convenience store. Sometimes sex education is a taboo, especially here in our country, which is a Catholic country. The number one opposition for that is the Catholic Church, wherein they tend to be too much traditional even when we're speaking about the term sex. So for them, it is a problem of family. It is a problem of a parent guiding their children, not educating them in school. In this process, they want to give the power of educating the child about sex to parents. Or in fact, in our society, it is a taboo also. In our family-oriented society, at home or lunchtime or dinner time, the family doesn't talk about sex. So the teenager engage this kind of topic or discussion with their friends or with their loved ones. So when they talk about sex, when they talk about the forms, the types, they tend to diverge on it, and they tend to act on it. That's why sexual education is very important in schools. Especially, I think we should advocate that sexual education will be a permanent subject matter, especially in grade school and in high school, where maturity of children lacks. So I think sexual education is a eye opener for children, for teens, and for young adults, not to engage into early sexual activity, but to have a deeper knowledge about sexual contact or sexual activity. And with that, I hope this interview will enlighten you guys with this topic of sexual education. What is it? What's the importance? And how to prevent teenage pregnancy? How to prevent early abortion? And how to prevent sexually transmitted disease. Based on my conclusion and my opinion as a medical practitioner here in our country, I think the best thing to do is to add sexual education as a subject for grade school and high school. That's all, and hope for productive years and productive days to come. Thank you for having me here in this interview, and God bless you all and stay healthy. Bye.
The problem now lies in the implementation. Opposition from religion, which comprises of around 80% Roman Catholics in the Philippines, has a significant impact on the state of sex education in the country. The Catholic Church is opposed to sex outside of marriage and is concerned that sex education may lead to an increase in sexual encounters. As a result, the Catholic Church continues to oppose the RH Act, making it more difficult to put into practice. Additionally, the Catholic Church opposes both sex education in schools and the distribution of contraceptives. The Catholic Church advocates that parents teach their children about reproductive health. Many families, however, are either unprepared or unwilling to discuss the matter with their children directly. To combat teen pregnancy, we must do everything in our power to eradicate this issue. We should implore all government agencies and instruments to explore and execute practical treatments such as comprehensive sexuality education, educational and career options for young people, and health promotion through media and communications. And as citizens, it is our responsibility to abolish the stigmas and negative perceptions about sex in the Philippines. We all have an obligation to rise up and do our part advocating against the stigmatization of sex education in our homes, in the media, and in ourselves. Let's all use our heads over our heels.